All right, Eagle Nation, day 2 of mandatory minicamp, and Brandon Graham made some interesting quotes about the coaching differences. Also, the cornerback competition higher than ever, and A.J. Brown in the best shape of his life. We'll talk about all of that and more, but welcome in. This is A to Z Sports Philly. I'm RB. Do us a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to our show so you don't miss any of the daily updates. But we have to start with James Bradberry again, because this time he was here. And from the jump, he was on the sidelines. That is right. No practice for James Bradberry today. He is injured, and who knows? Like I said, maybe he will just sit out. Maybe he showed up to practice yesterday, and he said, wait, I'm at safety? I'm at safety and moved my position. Okay, I'm hurt. Tweaked ankle. I'm done. Will he show up and play again? Will he actually put on the jersey and be a Philadelphia Eagle? Give me your thoughts on that down below. Interesting scenario here with James Bradberry, but again, the team did talk highly of him. We also got a Jalen Hurts update today. Jalen Hurts intercepted by Reed Blankenship. That's the only really clear update I saw in terms of play, and it was a bad interception, but hey, they all have them, and hopefully Hurts doesn't do this come week 1, come week 2. Shout out to ESP with the notes from today's mini camp. I'm not going to go over all of them, but pretty much what you need to know. The corners had an impressive showing again. Competition is higher than ever. And CJ Gardner-Johnson becoming a vocal leader in that secondary. Great to have him back on this team. We had some interesting competition with the linebacker position. And one thing I really like, Dallas Goedert looks skinnier and faster than he did last year. Looks like a wide receiver running routes. So is Dallas Goedert starting to transition his game a little bit? Maybe help him in terms of not getting injured and things like that. I'm excited, man. We have a lot more to get into. And I also want to mention that the Eagles are now starting to implement this new strategy for kick returns. And they had Britton Covey back for the most part. So maybe that can, become his main role. Britton Covey, the kick returner, and really specialize his game and help extend his career by getting good at these kick returns. But we got to jump in to what Brandon Graham said, because I thought it was probably the most interesting thing of the day. He talked about his retirement after this season and pretty much made it clear, like, this is my farewell tour. I'm getting out of here after this year, and I'm hanging it up as a Philadelphia Eagle, but he is not going to hold back, right? He's a vet on this team. He's a voice. And he said in terms of last year's coaching compared to this year, quote, "We did not have all the right coaches in the right position." So Brandon Graham put it very simple, very easy to understand. Our coaches stunk. They were not doing the things that they were good at. They were not put in the right situations. They were not putting the players in the right situations, and they needed a change of scenery. And that's exactly what they did. He said that Howie Roseman fixed it this offseason, and I like Brandon Graham speaking it how it is. Time to move on, but I think not only did this Eagles team add talent, but they are well suited to compete and contend because they have coaches that will now maximize their abilities, or at least we hope so. And all of the first impressions have been good of Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore. Now, Brandon Graham talking about Quinyon Mitchell, Eagles first round pick, says that he has come as advertised. He has been impressed by Quinyon's speed, and he likes his attitude on the field. And keep that in mind, because we will get back to that in just a second. I want to give a shout out to John Ross as well, as a player who is, turning some heads at this mandatory minicamp. I know it's very early, but he wasn't even supposed to be in the NFL again or even have a shot at it, right? He's very easy to root for. You heard the story last week about his son cheering with him when he got the call, and, he hasn't played in several years, and he was a former first-round pick and pretty much a bust at that. But John Ross is out here. He had 5 targets today, 4 catches, and has gotten behind the defense a few times. We know he could potentially be that once in a while, once in a blue moon deep threat. You don't see it coming, and boom, John Ross burns the back end and runs it in for a touchdown, right? If he can stay healthy. And so far, it seems like he's playing pretty well. And ESP says he's quickly making his way to a roster spot. Paris Campbell has been the main guy as wide receiver 3, but John Ross making a strong impression. Now, I want to get to what A.J. Brown had to say and kind of twist it back to Quinyon Mitchell. I know you'll be excited to hear this, but before we jump into that, got to give a shout out to our partner of today's show, and that is BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up with the code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. By registering with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to parlays, live bets, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. Find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. And honestly, my favorite odd on BetMGM so far is the Quinyon Mitchell Defensive Rookie of the Year bet. I think he's third or fourth on the list at this current moment. And boy, is he turning heads. But A.J. Brown talked about DeVonta Smith's comments yesterday about having more freedom in the scheme. And he said, quote, yeah, when it comes to certain routes, trusting each other, me, Smitty, Jalen, and trusting each other to be in certain places at times, right? We remember that end of the game last year where AJ kind of just takes his helmet off in disappointment, walks off knowing, damn, I'm not even being given the ability to be myself. And at that point, everybody was just cooked, but AJ was so frustrated. And you look at the numbers that he put up and the numbers that DeVonta put up, and they still feel like they were trapped, you know? So imagine if they were running a proper offense the entire season, how good they really could have been. And I'm excited to see what AJ DeVonta can do, especially now having Saquon Barkley in this offense. I think it's going to open everything up. And AJ Brown says that he is in the best shape of his career. The goal was to make sure he can be 100% effective for every snap he's on the field. I don't think he's had many durability issues, but he's just a physical freak, man. He's a freak in nature, and he can run, outbeat everybody, but he's got that strength and that size as well. I just think AJ is just going to be hard to bring down in general, and it's why he should probably lead the team in targets every single week. Now, back to Quinyon Mitchell, because again, I think Quinyon's going to determine a lot. We'll talk about the cornerbacks in a second, but if Quinyon Mitchell can step up and be that guy from day one, then you don't have to worry about James Bradbury or any of these other guys. Sure, Isaiah Rodgers is going to make his imprint, maybe Avonte Maddox, etc. But Quinyon Mitchell is the guy that can change everything. If he's ready to go from day one, I think that, the Eagles will be just fine with Slay and Mitchell. And A.J. Brown said that the first words he heard from Quinyon Mitchell were, quote, that route was trash. I love this guy even more. Right? We know about his skill set and his ability to defend and his ability to pick passes and all this stuff that we heard about in the pre-draft process. And we know the NFL is a different level. Oh, we didn't do it at a big enough school, et cetera, et cetera. But his confidence level, right? They said all good things about his character. And the fact he's coming in to a vet, to one of the best receivers in the NFL and challenging him early on, obviously in a joking manner, but saying, yo, your route was trash. You stunk on that route. Try to beat me. I love this guy's confidence. I think he's a natural, talent, but also just a natural character. And I think Darius Slay and Quinyon Mitchell could be the duo this season. I really do. I think they could make some noise, but we'll have to see if it holds up on the other end in terms of on-the-field production. Lastly, A.J. Brown says that he hit 23 miles per hour this offseason during his training sessions. AJ is a cheetah, man. We might have to start calling him the cheetah because, damn, he's about to outrun everybody. Now, the corners have been the biggest question mark about this Eagles team. A lot of competition. Today was the Isaiah Rodgers starting day. Yesterday was Keely Ringo, but Rodgers getting the start today. Who do you think should be corner two? Obviously, it's not going to be Bradbury. It's either going to be Rodgers or Ringo or Mitchell at this point. And Cooper DeJean got some reps with the second team. It seems like, he'll end up being that Swiss Army knife that we heard so much about. But, hey, if Rodgers can step up or if Mitchell can step up, it's right there to be taken. It was CJ and Reed Blankenship again in the safety positions today and Maddox at the nickel corner. So, seems like the Eagles are trying to get comfortable with a lot of different combinations. And I think it's good to have depth at that position. They definitely have not had it in years past. Quinyon got reps at outside corner as well with the first team defense. So it feels like it's going to be Quinyon Mitchell or Isaiah Rodgers, and I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. But again, Keely Ringo's in this mix too. Could it be Keely Ringo, former 4th-round pick from last year? Keely says he feels a year of experience under his belt He can now think less on the field and use his speed and talent more. Says he is able to process what he is seeing better now. And I also think that based on how the Eagles defense was flowing last year, any opportunity that Kelee Ringo got was probably highly pressurized and probably messed up his mental state, you know? Also, Kelee Ringo says that having Big Play Slay as a vet to lead him on has been huge. Quote, it feels like he has an answer for everything. So once again, showing that leadership component of Darius Slay. And lastly, we talk about Devin White. He says that Vic Fangio has thrown a ton at the Eagles on defense, pretty much echoing what we have heard. But I also like this from D. White. He says that he's more focused on just having fun and enjoying football now. He struggled with the business side last year. He says, I don't think I handled it well. I handled it more like a lawyer than a football player. And that could definitely mess with you, right? Those contract negotiations and what your future is going to be like. That can definitely mess with you. These are human beings. So overall, I'm excited to see how this team continues to transform themselves. But so far, all good things. All the positions that we were kind of honing in on, it seems like there's healthy competition. So give me your thoughts down below. Who are you most impressed with so far? Appreciate everybody tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.